see that now. Okay, so just let me know you can all see it.
Yeah,
can see it. Yeah, great. Okay, yeah, we're thrilled to announce the launch of our newly designed website. It boasts a sort of modern, cleaner look to enhance your user experience. We're also closely tied to our website design, to our broader sort of branding refresh that I've been working on over the past year. To give you a taste of what's in store, I'd just like to show you a few pages that sort of showcase our new direction. Okay, so I hope you'll agree that the redesigned website represents a significant step in our commitment to sort of better serve you as our customers by offering an intuitive, visually appealing, and sort of user-friendly interface. This is a huge step forward in our mission to provide you with the best possible service. Our new website is super easy to use, and it's a sleek and modern look. We hope you'll absolutely love. We've also added sort of more content and features to ensure that your online experience with us is informative and enjoyable. Just Dan's already touched on this, but just to say that there are no sort of significant changes to the sort of sign-in area on the website, but we are going to make a sort of few aesthetic changes to the dashboard in the coming months. The website, we've got a soft launch for this, which goes live on Friday, so please look out for a mail shot we'll be sending you on Monday. I'd be grateful if you could sort of look at our site. We'd love to hear your feedback, as again, this is about sort of providing you with the services you want and need from us. Back to you, Dan.
Bless you. Thank you, Paul. So one of the things that was also mentioned to us in terms of your feedback was also about trying to incorporate some other feeds of data. So I'm going to share my screen as well, because one of the things that we've been working on is doing two. Well, we've been working on two things which we're launching at the minute. One of the things that's already launched, which was actually fed back to us by a customer, which was in regards to international reports. So those of you that use international reports, what we've done is that we have incorporated some weeks ago a feature which enables you to get much more data on a more granular basis on countries abroad. So I'll just share mine really quickly. This is really quick. So I've just pulled a report at random. So this is on a French business. So you've got the normal stuff that you would expect to see on a report. However, when you click on financials, you've got here global harmonized and local full accounts. So I wasn't completely aware whether all of you are aware of this, but it might just be a little thing which can help, which was fed back to us by one of our customers. So this is what you would normally see when you pull a report, very similar to that of some of our competitors as well. But what we also now do is we can pull the full local accounts. So that is every single minute detail. I mean, I could demonstrate that by just scrolling. So this is where, for example, you look at a company whereby they're looking at long, medium and short term assets, for example. When you're looking at the harmonized accounts, sometimes they put them into long and short, but when you're looking at the detailed accounts, you're looking at 3 different levels. So where is it that those sort of middle ground are split up? So you can look at every single detail. So whereas you might find some information on the scrolling up, and where you might find something on the global harmonized accounts, and you may want to see where, for example, the total tangible assets are all built up, you can now click through to those. We gain those locally. There's no additional cost, anything like that. It just gives that granular data if you want to look in much more detailed basis. So I appreciate it's not every single instance, but it's something that our customers have asked us to do in order to better give you a bit more detail should you wish. Any questions on that, then by all means let us know. I also don't know whether I can actually do it, because where the thing is, can I if I move that out of the screen, there you go. Something else that we're also working on at the moment is that we're also providing what will be a new tab called Industry Data. At the moment, this is in events. So if you've been to 2 of the presentations that I've done in the last month, you probably might be aware of this, is that we were given some feedback from a customer that works in the pharmacy industry, and they made us aware that there is data out there which enables you to understand when a pharmacy receives data and government funding. So, for example, if you're looking at a pharmacy across the UK and they had 5,000 prescriptions a month, they will actually be paid on average £8.50 per prescription by the government on the 1st and the 11th of the month. So if you're working with that pharmacy, you'll know how much funding they're being given, how much cash they're going to have in the bank on the 1st and the 11th of the month. So when we're selling to those pharmacies, it enables you to gain a much better picture of the income and the cash that they're going to have available to them, particularly if you are a debtor of them, a creditor of them. So this here is something which we're going to provide in other industries as well, and we need your help to be able to do so. So if there's customers that I can see, Michelle, if there's customers on the recruitment basis that sell into particular industries, is there available data out there which we can put in specific industry news that we can incorporate to provide a much better picture of enabling you to be able to do a due diligence check? So again, this has come from the basis that someone who sells into the pharmacy industry would really like to know if there's any other data that enhances their decision of when to sell to them, when to collect, and everything like that. So you can see here that this particular group of pharmacies, there's 12 of them within the group, how many prescriptions they get as a group. So 88,000. Obviously, there may be more than one prescription on that particular form, so therefore there's 173 prescriptions just in the month of March. And if you think that they're getting £8.50 per time times 173,000 odd, that means that they're getting 1.4 million in terms of revenue coming through on that basis, and that breaks down into small pharmacies as well. So I suppose what I wanted to do is make you aware that this is coming, that this industry data is available and going to be in there, and it's going to be specific for companies that you're selling into. And we would love your help in terms of adding in new data sources under industry news. So those in the construction industry, is there data available that we can get from public sources or third parties that we can incorporate and make a better report for you guys as well? Again, this has come from listening to you guys and adding this in. Okay, so with that, I'll stop sharing my screen. You get to see my ugly mug instead. Got some comments. Phil just letting us know that he's retiring. I'll let those comments carry on coming anyway. Okay, so with the basis of this forum, I'm very conscious that we're about halfway through now, so I don't want to take any more than one of the comments was last time was that could we condense this to 30 minutes? So in terms of trying to now gain your feedback, I appreciate the fact that you're all very valued customers of ours, but we would love to gain your feedback in terms of data that you think we could improve on, data that we or functionality within the reports that you think would really help. So I wondered if there's any feedback I can put open wise, is there anybody that would like to start the ball rolling? Is there anything that we could learn from you guys in order to better work better together? If there's not, I can give a few pointers.
I think you've got mine, haven't you, Dan? That I wanted like a rolling risk over 12 months.
So can you explain for those people that weren't on the call beforehand? I have got that, yes, absolutely. And Dave, as your account manager, is working with Mike to be able to do so. Can you just explain that really quickly, Lou, please?
Yeah. So the risk score, it's really good for kind of looking for trend. Because when you pull the portfolios off on DNA, it only shows you what it is now. So if you've got the last 12 months sort of like shown column after column, it's easier to pick up on things like people that are slow paying, you know, the small amounts, you know, those people that they started off as 100 out of 100 and this month they're 90 and then they're 80, and you know, and you can kind of see a trend, and it helps to identify people that are going through slow issues that may not pick up again, rather than just suddenly being hit with, oh god, they've just gone it on to 20.
Yep, brilliant. So that's one of the things that Mike, our technical director, funny enough, as technical director, he's actually got a power cut in Cornwall at the minute, so he's not able to jump on the call.
Bless him.
One of those things which he can't get away with, but he did say he was going to hope to try and get on if he could. But it's certainly something that
Mike is on, Dan.
I am actually here. I'm just
Yeah.
listening in. I haven't got my camera on.
Oh, okay. Have you got power back yet?
Power, so.
Have you got power back, Mike, yet?
No. Just we're running on battery.
Just
Oh,
picking up on Louisa's comment there, maybe an arrow, you know, up or down to give you a quick snapshot of the trend. Like this is the score and it's up or it's down or it's, you know, horizontal, it's not changed.
Yeah, so
and then you can do a bit more research. If it's going downhill, you need to think, well, right, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Lou. So Diana very kindly has taken notes on this, plus I'm going to jot some bits down as well. So thank you for that, Lou. That's really great. Anyone else in terms of anything that particularly you're finding that would be really useful, or a pain point within your business that you would love access to more data from?
There's a message that's come in, Dan, from Kay. I'd like to see the linkage of companies, particularly in Italy and France.
Okay. Tim's laughing.
I know.
Wouldn't we all? Is that what your answer was to that, Tim?
Yes. And I'd like to see it the same structure for the related company if they're in different countries. But at the minute, you can see different companies in the group structure in the Italian part of a group to what you might see in the UK. So having those synchronized would be a real step forward. Equally, someone mentioned the group structures of downloads. To have some data about the companies that are downloaded would be good. So their sales figure, their net worth, or so you get an idea of the relative sizes of the business within a group. Yeah, that would be very handy.
So you should be able to obtain that, Tim, within DNA. So there's within DNA there's a functionality.
Not all countries are in DNA though, are they? That's the trouble.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I mean, like I said,
you're right. For those in Europe and a few other places, it's available. Unfortunately, when you download DNA, you also can see the breaks in the linkage. But so you have a different parent company for a UK business to its sister company in Italy, for example, to use the same. Very often, you can see that because of the way the structures are manufactured in different countries, where there's a dependence on things like chambers of commerce data, they don't always report the same data as a sister company elsewhere in Europe. So you can occasionally pick out some challenges around that, shall we say? I mean, it's the nature of data. It's just the way it is, but it's quite handy to be able to see those relative relationships, as well as the relative sizes of business in a common group. Bearing in mind, sometimes the definitions of different financial items can be different. So you've got that facet as well. It's part of the challenge of operating internationally. But having said that, it's a great step forward. Wasn't there before, and always something that I needed. Really good. I was going to ask something else as well. I think it was Louise mentioned about trending data in DNA. Be really good to have that. I completely agree. But also, it would be good to know why a change has happened. Whether it's a director resignation or appointment, whether it's the accounts that got too old to be used for scoring, whether it's a legal event or a negative legal event of some description. Having, otherwise you're trying to work your way through why there might have been changes, and occasionally there's just an error. But
you got to sort of almost expect that's going to happen.
Trends, but it's good to know why there's been an upping and a downing of a score. Absolutely.
And then, like Phil said, to be able to then quick reference that with arrows would probably help as well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the more visual it is, the easier it is to consume on screen. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. I think Umang, would you be kind enough to, you raised your hand very kindly, I saw there. Would you like to unmute?
Yeah. Hi everyone. Hi Dan.
Hiya.
I just have one pain point. Sometimes when we are checking the Cockreader report for the vendors we are working with or any companies that we are working with, some of the vendors are private companies, so they do not publish the reports or their financials. So we are not able to get a report in the Cockreader. So what do you suggest we should do in such a cases, or is there any strategy that the Cockreader is working towards helping us out in such a scenario?
Is that in particular countries, Umang?
There's no as such country. I think it's quite general. Say, for example, if you are working any company in Middle East or in European region, and they are a private company, so they are not obligated to provide their financial or disclose their financials publicly. So in those scenarios, we just we are not able to fetch a report from the Cockreader, and hence there is no risk evaluation from the financials perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult, isn't it, based upon the sort of the laws, the final requirements in those countries as to what you can and can't get. I'm going to ask a question, if you don't mind me throwing you under the bus, Charles, because of your knowledge of the UAE and Middle East. Is there a way to get around getting data on companies in that region that they don't have to file, that you're aware of?
I've got an agent based in Dubai who I've worked with closely for some years, and we can pull off some due diligence reports, and they're taking data from Dubai Chamber of Commerce, the equivalent Chamber of Commerces in various, Saudi, etc. So
would that pull accounts and stuff like that, whereas the sort of the company's house equivalent wouldn't show it, where
No, the only thing that you can request or perhaps get from other referees and other clients that we've got in the area is management accounts. So yeah, very limited information, Dan.
Yeah. So Umang, I'm just wondering whether, but that's not.
Is Umang credit insured? Does he use credit insurance?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that's one avenue that's closed. I only say because many credit insurers do gain financial data which they don't put into the public domain, but can tap their little noses, shall we say, and give you an idea of how they're looking financially. But if you're not credit insured, you won't get that benefit. But Charles is right. If you can get close enough to the counterparty, they will occasionally share financial data under non-disclosure terms, and one of Dan's partners is able to process that financial data confidentially.
Yeah.
If they wanted to do that, but it means
create a
close
collaboration
between all the counterparties. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose consent for them to look at it. And
I mean, as Charles, I hope would confirm, in the Middle East, it's who you're connected to, whether that's the local people in power, or whether it's external major corporate counterparties, and that's often where you have to place your reliance in terms of due diligence.
I appreciate that we're recording this call, but yeah, there is quite a lot of information available. But as you say, Tim, it's knowing where to look and who to ask, and who will give you the information. But yeah, 30 years of doing business over there, it's getting a little bit better, but not brilliant.
Okay, you've put some feedback. Are you able to? You're saying NDR is a good way to go if a customer is willing.
Just a non-disclosure, really. Just it is a good way. We've worked with customers, particularly when there was knee-jerk reactions a few years ago on credit insurance. We used to get closer to the customers. We basically had a letter that we drafted up to them asking if they were willing to share their details with us. And what we found was that some customers shared their details with us, and then they gave us the okay to actually share them with the credit insurer, because they were comfortable that actually they were going to get a better rating out of it. So it was a nice collaboration, really.
I suppose that's an interesting one, isn't it? You know, do you raise alarm bells if they're not willing to do that? Because, you know, what is it only? Are you only going to get information from those that want you to see it? No, not those that don't. It's a tricky one.
It is a tricky one. Yeah, it depends whether they've got a report up to group and group don't want people to see that kind of thing. It depends how much business is coming your way and how much they want it. Yeah, there's quite a few factors involved.
Yeah. We'll certainly, man. Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, mate. One of the other tips I can give just while we're on the call is that if you contact not the Chamber of Commerce, but the embassies in those countries, like the British Embassy in Abu Dhabi, etc., they quite often have business clubs where they know who's in trouble and who isn't. So if you use the British embassies in those particular countries, then they'll tell you what's going on. And we used to have one with the optical companies and making lenses and everything else, and they were very useful in giving us feedback as to who was in trouble and who wasn't. Straight as as British people using the embassies, they'll give you information in some far-flung countries.
Is that as simple as just phoning them up and asking or emailing?
Out quite often. Yeah. Just, I mean, if you're there on the ground, great. But if not, just ask the not quite the business attaché, but there'll be somebody within the embassy that might be able to help. And it's those business clubs that they host for various industries. Like we have, can't call them credit circles anymore, but credit forums. They're very useful and they do go on. So used to have one in the Syrian embassy about 20 years ago, but obviously not now.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose equally with the way that the world is now, that there might even be an option that you don't even need to be in that country. You can always connect virtually. I don't know. Is that, or do you need to have a physical presence?
No. The British Embassy will help UK exporters. No problem at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah. Good point. And any other sort of pain points that anybody would be kind enough to share with us that potentially other people will be feeling as well? Any other data that we can assist with, or that we're not offering that we could? And
did you ever look at the unsecured creditors data that's available now, or is that a future project?
No, that is it's not. I suppose it's one of those things where prioritizing which bits we look at first, and I do think that is a priority. I'm far from saying that, but I mean, could you quickly explain that to what that is, Tim, to the group?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I use it commonly when I'm doing any credit or supply chain risk assessments, which is to look at the company to see whether they've incurred any significant bad debts. This is UK only. We're not talking foreign or non-UK. Just normally it will be post the last financial year end, just to see if anything's happened. And it came to mind, a couple of days ago when I was looking at a small company which had incurred a bad debt in June last year. Their accounts were March last year, but the size of the bad debt was in excess of their net worth.
Wow.
So it won't be picked up necessarily at all, but the data is available if you know where to go and find it, of course. And it's just another little measure. The credit insurers use it. Some of the credit insurers use it as another piece of intelligence to see whether one of their insured debtors has incurred a bad debt.
But then it's going to have a knock-on effect. Yeah, we do have it. We do have it through a third party. We do receive some bad debt information, which is highlighted. So you will see that in some of our reports under payments, where you can see that there is, a bad debt of this amount, but it's not everything and all in abundance. But there is a little bit there, so it's definitely.
I'm trying to find a way of more seamlessly doing it myself for the folk where I manage their ledgers, but it's challenging my Excel skills, shall we say?
Yeah, it's trying to collaborate that all
together. I need more hands. I don't know how I'm going to get that, but
well, that's where automation and that sort of thing can help. So hopefully, we can certainly try and take those pain points away.
Cool. Just a quick one on DNA. Are there any prospect of any ratios being included in DNA in the download? That is,
Mike.
Just the key
ones. You
answer
that if you can hear us.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a possibility. in terms of that, as long as we have the core data to do the ratios from, then there's absolutely no reason why those ratios themselves can be added as an option to include within the portfolios.
Yeah, it's not an absolute sense. Just every now and again you see the raw data and you think, oh, okay. Again, coming back to the trend discussion of earlier, it's good to see whether profitability has changed. Even though the absolute profits might be great, the margins actually might be lower. That kind of thing is quite handy to see in a snapshot view. So yeah, just a thought.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Mike. Kay's put another point on there, which I can answer really quickly, which is good. Can you add a real-time conversion so we can work out GBP on limits quickly when given another currency? It's just a quick guide. So we currently do have that. I've obviously not demoed the site well enough to you, Kay, to show. Kay's a new customer of ours, particularly in the UK, because you can do that really quickly. So what you can do is you can, I don't know if I can show it on. Yeah, let me share my screen really quickly. I'm conscious of the time, so I am keeping an eye. So on a UK report here, Kay, what you can do is you can quickly change to a different currency, and it changes all the limit. And it changes all the details into that currency. You can also, if you were to pull for example, a French report, it would move it back to the UK currency as well. So as you've asked there, equally, you can change it to US dollars. That's today's rate, by the way, as well. So that updates every day. So you can change it to that currency and it confirms it in a different basis. Just so if you ever need that again, you can then go back to the UK and it does it on there as well. Vicky's had to jump off. Thank you very much, Vicky, for your time. So the only other thing I really wanted to talk about was in regards to API access and integrating directly with your systems as well. So if ever anybody wants to talk about that, it's something that we do get a number of conversations come from our customers, but we offer a basis that we don't charge for it as such. So if we're able to help with that in any way to seamlessly integrate within your systems, we'd love to do so as well.
Yeah, that'll definitely be something I'll be coming to talk to you about, Dan.
Amazing. Well, Mike, there you go. You've got loose face now, so you know. So, one of the things that we do a lot as well now, we're working much more with like third-party software companies such as Escar and others, more on a sort of an O2C basis as well. So we can help with integration on that if anybody has any questions at that point as well. Any further questions? I'm conscious of time, so we've already taken probably 6 minutes more than I was hoping to. Any more questions?
Yeah, just a quick one in regards to the financials. Hi, everybody. I'm from VF. Firstly, let me just say apologies from Fernando. He couldn't be today here.
That's okay. Thank you for coming, Madalena.
So in terms of the financial summary, we work a lot with the downloaded version of the data. So obviously in Excel, whenever we have international accounts with different currencies, obviously, and we try to convert the data in euros and then download it like that in Excel, the downloaded data is in the original currency, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Could that be something that
right idea?
Yeah.
So on the
because
download
we obviously
facility,
work a lot in euros, so for us it would be useful just to have it in euros.
And that's just specifically on the download, isn't it, Madalena?
Yes, it's only specific when you download it in Excel. So you can obviously visualize it correctly in the PDF version or in the online version, but when you download it in Excel, it just transfers back into the original currency.
Yeah.
We can certainly look at doing that sort of thing. It's from a technical perspective, it's slightly awkward because the download comes from the original source data rather than from what you're seeing on the reports. But I imagine we can probably sort something out so that those downloads come down in the appropriate currency that you're looking at that point when you hit the download button. So we'll certainly have a look at that.
Thank you. That will really help us.
Thank you, Madalena. Anybody else really quickly? Okay, so with that, I'd just like to thank you all for your time. I appreciate how busy you all are. If anybody's got any more suggestions or any more questions, please by all means let myself, customer service, Paul, Dave know, and we'll be happy to jump on those and get straight back to you. But thank you again for your time, and hope to see you all again soon. Take care.
Thanks.